Okay, today I'm going to do a little video about repairing door hinges on a 99 Chevy Tahoe. This is my 99 Tahoe. It's got 200,000 miles on it. Last video I did, I was replacing the intake manifold gasket. Talked about the crappy Dex Cool coolant that always leaks out. But the thing is in very good shape. I have had it parts of it painted because the paint was starting to go bad. Got some aftermarket wheels, look pretty cool on it. I'm going to show you inside here. Really in excellent condition. Everything's totally stock on it. No modifications or anything. Take a look at the door panel. We really kept this thing in great shape. With the instrument panels, very good shape. No cracks in the dashboard. Now we bought this thing secondhand, and we've had it for a very long time. And owners before us, I think, spilled some drinks and things on the carpet, so we did replace the carpet. Otherwise, the seats are brand new, not replaced, but original, but in brand new condition. You can see how nice they are. The headliner's never been replaced. I know it's getting kind of dark. I don't know if you can see it all that well, but headliner's still nice and tight. No bags or sags in it at all. And but the purpose of this video is going to show you a little secret I learned, or a little trick. I don't know if anybody else has ever tried it or not, but these 99 Tahoes and some of the other ones around this same year has a problem with the door hinges sagging. Only on the front doors, as far as I know. I've never experienced this on the back doors, but I'm going to go around to the other side and show you what I'm talking about. Like I said, I've had this thing for a long time, and many years ago, the doors started to drag when you open and close the door. The door hinges had sagged, which meant the door would drop down a little bit back at the back here. And if you notice, there's some wear marks on there, which is normal for the latch to come in and contact this pin. But right in here, you notice a little shiny place. And that's where the door hinges sag down, and it causes the door latch to kind of drag on that surface there. And it really sucks because it makes it seem like a cheap truck, you know. And so you look over here at the latch. And the latch is in pretty good condition, but you know, that pin will actually drag right up in here. And when you open and close the door, it makes it hard to open and close, and it kind of scratches and makes a crappy noise and doesn't close really right. So my mother actually had the same vehicle as this, and she went to the trouble of taking it to the dealership, and they actually took the door off and replaced the hinges. The hinges are welded to the body, so I don't know how much of a job that was, but anyway, she went to the trouble and cost of getting that repaired. But what I did, I actually placed some washers underneath the bottom hinge, and it seemed to work really great. And they've been in there forever, and I've never experienced the door sagging or scratching or sagging down anymore. And I got a light here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right in here on this bottom hinge, you'll notice that there's a hinge pin there. This is the top of the hinge pin. It just kind of goes into a knurl, and they hammer down in there. Goes through this part of the hinge that's connected to the body, and then it goes down here, and the actual hinge on the door, this piece and this piece, goes through, the pin goes through all of that, and then comes out here on the bottom. And that's basically all that holds the door onto the hinge. It's just a small knurl on the actual pin itself, and it nails down inside this part here, and just the friction of that knurl there holds that in. Same situation at the top. Let me get my light here so you can see. But you can see it's the same situation at the top. It's the same pin, although it's nailed in from the bottom. So one of the things I found that helps this situation, when the door starts to drag, if you take a pin, or a punch rather, and a hammer, and just knock those pins back up. Mine has a tendency to want to work loose, and sometimes what you'll do is you'll come in here you know, the door will kind of drag or something. And if you take and you look right in here, you'll notice that that pin is not all the way down. And if you take a punch and a hammer and just knock that thing down on the top and the bottom, a lot of times that will correct the problem, or at least temporarily stop it from the door from sagging down and scratching on that pin. But what I ended up doing, and you're not going to be able to see it in the video because the washers are fairly small, but there's enough slop in these hinges that you can actually remove this bottom pin. You don't have to take it all the way out. You can just bring it up to about this height. You just knock it out from the bottom and allow it to come up to about here, and then have someone help you work the door back and forth, and then while they're pushing up on it, and the door will actually ride up on that pin all the way up against this surface here. So what it does, it ends up giving you a little space down here at the bottom. And what I did is I just slid a couple washers in there and then ran, or actually nailed this pin back down, and that corrects that problem. So I have had to, on the other side, like I said, these washers have been in there forever. I did have the driver's side start to scratch just a little bit one time after I put the washers, and all I did was remove the pin again, added another washer and make it a little bit thicker, and it just picks up the door just enough to offset the wear in the hinge or whatever it is that causes that sag, and it prevents that pin from interfering with the door latch, and you get that scratchy crappy noise when you open and close the door. I'm sure other people had the same problem, but that's how I fixed mine, and it has worked for a long time. I've had to replace no hinges or anything like that. I just basically put those washers in there, and that was it. I'm going to go over to the other side and see if I can show you the pin on the driver's side, because it was much worse. Of course, you use the driver's side door a lot more than you use the passenger side one, and I've never known the rear ones to do it at all, because they much lighter doors and you don't use them that much. So you can see the top of that pin, how it's worn, and it no longer scratches at all. Here, we'll close the door and I'll show you. See, when you open it, it's when you usually hear it, so you don't hear that scratch. But when you close it, you have a nice positive. See how that works. Anyway, I'd be interested in hearing someone else's fix for that. And but I just want to let you know that's how I fixed mine. It was a pretty simple fix. Just a little washer I had laying around, or maybe a couple washers. But anyway, that's it for this video.